Hey there, it's Follow Up Friday on Overtime.
Guys. Oh, if you missed the Brian and Janelle show and you missed the last 2 minutes, I'm sorry. Because we played an amazing song. I just have to say that.
It's one of our favorites.
What a way to end the show.
New tradition, Jason Champions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I want to end the show that way every Friday.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now, we're going to get to follow-up stuff here on Overtime, but first thing would be don't forget to share this discussion, like this discussion, go back. We archive all the other Overtimes.
Yeah.
We number these episodes because there's other ones. Go back to one, share it with your family and friends. It's a way to spread the word about what God's doing here on Brian and Janelle Overtime and on the radio show. And you can get your comments in there, talk to us. And our podcast, if you were with us in Overtime on Monday,
yeah.
You remember.
Yeah. It was great. It was talking about the hug. Botham's brother who hugged
Amber Geiger.
Amber Geiger. And we talked about forgiveness, talked about grace that morning, and then had Pastor Leonard Tanks join us to talk about the tension and how not everybody reacted the same way, especially when across ethnic and racial lines, and what should we as believers think about it. People loved it. I know a lot of you were excited. That conversation went to Overtime, and so people were asking, can I get a copy of this? Can I get a copy? So we were faithful to you because we love y'all and made it a podcast instantly. Our manager, Josh, amazing production. You want to hear it?
Yeah, wait to hear it. He actually includes a whole bunch of audio for you of that courtroom statement from Brant Jean. There's some from his mother.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we bring in Tanks. It's something you can share and go listen to. So download the podcast wherever you get your podcast.
Like us, please.
Yeah.
Rate us.
Only if you're going to give 5 stars, though.
Yes.
If you're going to give 4, go to somebody else. Give them 4.
Yeah.
It's like when you go. I went to get my oil changed once, and the guy was like, "I'd like you to do a survey and give us a 10 because anything other than a 10 is a failure in the eyes of corporate. It's basically pass or fail, and pass is 5. Okay.
That's right.
Now, what was your biggest takeaway from Follow Up Friday today? Follow Up Friday, I didn't think we'd spend the whole time on Ellen.
I didn't.
But we spent
especially
the whole time.
after Monday.
Right. And for those who don't know, we talked about that Ellen DeGeneres situation where she got criticized by everybody for being friends with President George W. Bush and having a great time with him at a football game. And her message was essentially, be kind to others. We had a segment earlier on that, and we had some pushback from it.
Yeah,
people were not happy with us in some respects because they want to go.
Brian was wrong.
Yeah,
that was the highlight of the show.
That was the best part.
You want to talk about that?
I said in the midst of that conversation that Paul went running to the pagans right after he got saved, and someone accurately pointed out that I jumped over a number of years of ministry.
Yeah.
He ministered to Jews first, and then ultimately was officially commissioned, as described in the book of Galatians by Peter and John, to go out and minister to the Gentiles.
But we got pushback about other things, and even in the discussions, you get caught up. All get caught up on Ellen and President Bush and people. They're not thinking about us. But then Ann called. That was my biggest takeaway, is remembering when we talk about these heavy topics, there are people that we love, and a lot of times we talk about it like it's the other, it's the outsider, and we're over here talking about it. And we forget that there are people right within not just the Moody Radio family, but within God's kingdom that are impacted by these issues. And I loved it. Anne was just sharing her journey with her son who's homosexual and how God has taught her to love him and his partner and to remember that he's not defined by his sexuality. And that was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, big time.
Both that it's personal, it's not just a headline, but then also remembering to love the whole person and consider the whole person.
By the way, hello to Yvonne. Yvonne, I saw some of your comments. You were way into what Tanks was talking about earlier. Don't forget, listen to that podcast today. You'll love it. What's up, Mike? Feeling beat up today? No, we're not feeling beat up. No, it was actually, I love those kind of intense discussions. We had a number of, some pushback, and I think that's what makes for great conversation.
Oh, yeah.
When we agree all the time, it's boring. Disagreement, I think, is inherently interesting. Rod, what's up? Peeps, it's Friday.
Hey, Kat, good morning. She says, thanks for starting my morning, especially since I work nights and really just went to bed at 3 a.m.
Oof.
So we're hanging with you. This is awesome.
And Montina says, good morning. It's been a while since I've been able to listen and watch. So glad to be here. We're glad you're back.
What's up? We missed you.
Good to see you, Montina. Don't be a stranger. Keep coming back. Callie's back. Always good to see her. Myrna showing up late again.
Okay, you can
She actually got me. She got me on Monday because I showed up late on Monday to my own overtime.
What's up, Kat? Yo, Kat. So we are kind of following up on Following Up Friday and asking you what was your biggest takeaway. If you didn't listen to the show, but maybe you know it's because it's been going viral, the video of Ellen and former President Bush sitting together at a Dallas Cowboy game, and the pushback she's been getting all week from all sides. So just give us your reaction to that.
I'm glad Myrna's got a good sense of humor today. Robert says, good job today, you two. I hope everyone understands how hard it is to handle the issues in such a diplomatic, pun intended way. Yeah, that's what I was trying to communicate, Rob. I appreciate that.
Jennifer, no. I'm a homeschooler. No, you need to tell the kids, go upstairs. I got to listen to Brian and Janelle.
Yeah, what is that? Sporadic listener. Jennifer, you're the principal. You can cancel school whenever you want.
Cancel, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Rob. And I do appreciate that, Brian, that you do a great job, because even during the show, we had to clarify the fact that we're not partisan, and some people are not too excited about that.
Yeah, they want us to be partisan. There's people that want us to, whoever's president, whatever year it is. I've been doing this for a decade for Moody, so it's been through multiple administrations. They want us to cheer for the president, or they want us to yell at the president. And we're not going to do that. We're not, because we want to point to Jesus. We will talk about issues that cross into politics, that are biblical moral issues.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do what Ecclesiastes talked about. And I think that hit you today, the passage that hit me. Ecclesiastes early on, I shared this passage today. This is me stalling. Hi, this is Brian stalling as he finds the actual passage. Here it is. Ecclesiastes 10:20. Never make light of the king, even in your thoughts. And don't make fun of the powerful, even in your own bedroom. For a little bird might deliver your message and tell them what you said. That we want to focus on Jesus and not get into the mudslinging. And so, on top of that, what I find interesting is how many people just had a hard time saying something nice about Ellen.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? We were praising something that was praiseworthy. Remember, like Paul said, whatever's praiseworthy, think of those things.
Yeah.
And she said we should be kind to people we disagree with. That is biblical and it's praiseworthy. Set aside her issues on sexuality. It's praiseworthy. But people are so freaked out at her for her sexual sin that they can't say something nice about her. What in the world?
Yeah.
Why do we need to do that?
It doesn't surprise me. And it is one thing about that particular sin that kind of covers the entirety of who a person is in our eyes as Christians for some reason. Callie wants to know what verse was it. It's in Ecclesiastes, his favorite book. Where is it?
It drives you nuts. I love that book.
Well, because actually my first reaction to that book was like, oh my goodness, this is negative. This is in the Bible? And then I was like, he's so cynical. Then I realized, and as I became more and more of a student and realized who wrote it, when he wrote it, those two things made it like, whoa, that's powerful. But then... Because
cynicism isn't sinful.
It's not. And you being who you are, I'm like, of course that would be your favorite.
It actually, I read this and felt comforted.
Wow.
That it's okay to acknowledge that some things are horrible.
Yeah.
But in the midst of that, it's Ecclesiastes 10:20. Ecclesiastes 10:20 is the passage I shared. I hope that does something for you today. But isn't that odd that we do that? It's our tendency. We're so quick to look at somebody else and go, "Oh, they said something good, but don't forget, they're not good."
Yeah.
It bothers me. I wish
and we
didn't
only
do that.
do that with certain sins that we don't like. We all do this, you know.
Say that about you.
What? What did you say?
Well, but that's that passage when Jesus talks about, what are you worried about the splinter in that guy's eye when you got a log in yours? Think about the outrageousness of that. How dare you? You've got a splinter, giant log in your eye.
Yeah.
It's like, just stop. You are a sinner.
Yeah.
Point out truth, but do it with humility. Do it with a sense of acknowledging that you are a hypocrite too.
That's right.
The self-righteousness is It's irritating to me.
But
Try not to be irritated on the radio, but it's irritating.
Mike is saying he loves Ecclesiastes, and he says 12:13 covers it all. Now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter: fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. So basically, from in Brian's words, it's all messed up. Or there's a lot of messed up stuff, but fear God.
But I also like in Ecclesiastes that he repeats time and again. His conclusion is that in the midst of the horrible things, it's okay to have a good time.
Yeah.
He says, like, for example, in 5:18, even so I've noticed one thing, at least that is good. It's good for people to eat, drink, and enjoy the work under the sun that God has given them in their short life, and to accept their lot in life. And it's a good thing to receive wealth from God and good health and enjoy it. And later on it says, it's good to enjoy your wife and good food. Like, it's okay to have fun, okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's licensed to have fun.
Jennifer says, I thought her response was great. I find her amusing and don't agree with a lot of things about her. I also like Bush, Obama, Clinton, and so many others I don't agree with on many issues.
But that is just I think, the way of Christ, Jennifer. It's that we can praise things that people do that are correct and then point them to Jesus. It's Paul's technique on the Sermon on Mars Hill. He looks at all the philosophers and says, I see you're very religious people.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me help you better understand what you're missing. He didn't say, you're all a bunch of idiots. What's your problem?
Right. Let me fix you.
Yeah, that's not what he did.
Kat says, I love Ellen. She really spoke the truth. And yes, we need to love one another. And these people that were judging her, well, that's not fair. Only God can judge. And they point fingers. We all judge others, but God calls us to love one another in unity. Rod says it seems that all the vocalization or protesting that screamed love and acceptance has taken on the hidden our way or else mentality.
Yeah, and that's the hypocrisy that you'll see. And it's the meme-worthy jokes where those who preach tolerance most are some of the most intolerant of our positions as followers of Christ. But again, I think it's what we do with that. In my mind, I have two choices. I can get mad about that reality, their hypocrisy, or I can go, well, I'm a hypocrite too. That's why we all need Jesus. There's a difference. And I get weary and tired of people getting mad at hypocrisy.
Kat says, how she lives her life, exclamation points. We have commandments, and they are not suggestions. They are to be followed. Whoever the president is, we must respect the leaders of our country. It doesn't mean we have to agree. Yes, the commandments are not suggestions. We are to follow them. But when I look at somebody like Ellen, she may be a Christian. I don't know. She doesn't use her platform to talk about that. But that whole message of the commandments are not suggestions, that's for us. That's not for the world. So for her, they're not commandments. They're suggestions that we choose to follow for her and for others.
I heard a famous preacher on Moody Radio say, we got to stop in this church saying, love the sinner, hate the sin. Because what it should be is love the sinner, hate your own sin.
Ooh. Yeah.
Love the sinner, hate your own sin. Here's the deal. Yes, Ellen's decisions with sexuality violate God's commandments.
Absolutely.
Very clearly. My pride violates God's commandments very clearly. Me yelling at people when I'm driving for being terrible drivers violates God's commandment clearly. You see? That's the point. It's to lead us to repentance and to help others lead them to repentance through our love for them and the truth.
Kat says, she says, oh yeah, and she says, correct. I thought she was saying what the kids say.
That was so not it.
I know.
It's, and now you, and now you.
Oh my goodness.
Did I do it right? I think I did.
Oh yeah, because the way Isaiah said it sounded like alley-oop. Have you heard that?
Alley-oop? Yeah, I've heard that.
It was smooth. We are so
Isaiah's not smooth. That's the
We're
problem.
so
Maybe that's
old.
what.
Whatever.
Fred
says, John MacArthur was that McCarthy?
Well, John McCarthyism. He was a senator that had a bunch of hearings in the 40s, 50s, that was going after communists and basically accused everybody to be communist. I don't totally get the connection at the moment, Fred, but yeah, McCarthy, yeah.
Yeah. Callie, Brian, you have become the pro of saying it. Yeah, Callie. By the way, Callie, I didn't know you lived in Cleveland Heights. I love Cleveland Heights.
She goes to
and it's-
MOPS.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
hold
MOPS
up.
she was in with my wife, actually. She knows Sarah.
Do you live in Cleveland Heights? Let me know. And if you do, y'all have my very favorite library. It's like so cool. Mike says, and nobody was there today. Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
I don't know. There were some annoying things today. Like you.
Oh man. Yeah, it was a great show. And like you said, that's all we talked about was Ellen, pretty
That's
much.
pretty much all we talked about. We talked for a minute about how I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah, wrong.
I was
So
wrong.
if you guys want to comment, continue the conversation, and continue to point out places where Brian's wrong, we
Hey.
actually we like those.
But in all seriousness, though, it's been a good week. I know you're looking forward to Friday.
No, I like the one on Lee Road. It's like very close to my heart.
She's talking to Callie.
Yes, it's
Hi.
like we're having. Yeah, the one on Lee Road. The people there are just so awesome. I started going there when the boys were little, and there's the people are still there, and so they'll talk to my boys like their family. I just love the Lee Road Library. Montina, very true. People are so consumed about the sin that others commit, opposed to their own. Yeah, that was the gist
See,
of our thing.
Montina, that's why you got to come back. That's exactly right, Montina. And that, I feel like that's something we have to keep coming back to time and again. It's why I need the gospel preached to me every day.
Yeah.
I used to be annoyed when churches would talk about the gospel every Sunday. I'm like, come on, I get it. Let's go to something else, like something more deep in the scripture.
Yeah.
But I'm in a phase of life now where I so appreciate it that my pastor's found a way to surprise me with the gospel every Sunday. And I'm preaching to myself the gospel every Sunday because I keep forgetting that I'm a sinner.
Yeah.
And that the gospel isn't for my neighbors, for me.
That's right.
And then it's for my neighbor.
You live out the gospel.
That's
you don't
right.
just accept it and then move on and do life. The gospel is life.
So Montina, you better come back.
Yeah, girl.
We need you.
All right, guys. It is time to start the weekend.
And go listen to the podcast.
10 o'clock, please. Go to Google, Apple, or our website, brandonjanelle.org, and rate us and enjoy that episode, especially if you missed it. If you didn't miss it and you want to listen to it again, that's great. More importantly, share it.
Well, you should, though, because there's extras added in there. It's like a whole new experience.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a whole new experience.
That is cool.
All right.
All right, bye, guys.
See you later, family. Have a good Sunday. Are you ready?